So they offer between 4 and 5% interest rates. As we know, interest rates are probably at what?
Almost 7%.
7%.
Wow.
And so, that's a great reason to at least apply for Habitat, is to get that interest rate. 30-year affordable mortgages, we offer down payment and closing cost assistance. You gain a partnership with Habitat. We're a HUD certified housing agency, and we have HUD certified counselors on staff. The sales prices of the homes are based on fair market value determined by an independent appraiser, so every home is appraised. A lot of times they appraise above what it costs us to build them. Mortgage payments are calculated at no more than 30% of the applicant's gross monthly income at the time of purchase. So therefore, we don't want somebody to be house rich and then poor. So, again, 30-year mortgage, it can be 4 or 5% depending on the bank. We do ask that everyone who is approved, have 1%, a 1% down payment that comes from them. So, if the house is $160,000, we ask for $1,600. So, and again, you only pay the 1% of the purchase price. We have the rest of the down payment assistance and closing costs, should they need it. Next slide. So again, we do not discriminate based on race, sexual orientation, gender identity, marital familial status, any of the protected classes. We do not discriminate. We don't discriminate based on the receipt of public assistance, and as a citizen of these United States, you have the right to exercise your right under the Consumer Credit Protection Act. Next slide. So these are a few of our homes. The one at the top left is a 2-car garage, could be a 3 or 4 bedroom. The one next to it, 1-car garage. Down bottom left is a brand new build, and it does have a parking pad in the back. And the one next to it is a remodel, and I believe that remodel is close by.
Yeah,
It
it's
is
at 46th
46th Street North. And so,
So you're building a Habitat house that does not have an actual garage, it has a parking pad?
yes. I don't know if we're building any more of those.
No.
We're not.
No.
Okay, good.
That was the remodel though, right? Or was that a new build?
That actually is a new build.
Oh, okay.
It's a new build.
I could see that in a particular neighborhood where the house, they're all detached garages, so it doesn't look wrong in the neighborhood to have a garage next to, if it's like, Ken Whittier or something.
No, there's a difference between a parking pad and a detached
And that's just a
garage.
parking pad.
It's just a parking pad.
Right, yeah.
All right, next slide. And so, this slide we're getting ready to redo. So our planned areas of development, we have our Blitz build coming up. We have the Whittier Phase 2, which is 15 units, townhome units. And I don't think I've Buena Vita, which is the 19 units. And then we have assorted infill lots, 28 units. And then of course, we have some that are further down the road, like Wilshire is one, Black Wall Street is another. We currently have a couple of houses going up in Kendall Whittier. Crutchfield between Utica, Peoria, we've pretty much built out, and Dunbar, we've built out, and those are some of the houses near Lacey Park.
Can you tell us remind us of where the name Wilshire came from?
Wilshire is the street, I believe, that turns into that development,
Okay,
and so Wilshire.
Or it may just be the name of the addition.
Okay.
It might be.
The original addition.
it's Wilshire,
Uh-huh.
okay.
All right, next slide.
Yes, the others have more cultural and historical meaning to them.
So the application process is, you do have to attend orientation in order to receive an application. We no longer just, we used to hand them out if people came to the window. But we usually didn't get them back, or, you know, that kind of thing. So it's better that you come to orientation, complete the application. We ask people to bring a copy of their government issued ID and social security card so we can check backgrounds, and credit and sex offender checks. So, the required documents for your client file, once you have been approved, we ask for all government IDs, social security cards, pay stubs, bank statements, verification of employment, which we check, any other forms of income, taxes and W-2s for the past 2 years. Okay, next slide. And so here are the income guidelines, and you already have those in front of you right here, but the assessment of need for adequate shelter, and a lot of times, because right now we have overcrowded situations, substandard, and definitely too expensive. We see that a lot, because people are paying mortgages for what they're renting.
Yeah.
And so we see that. Then a willingness to partner with us, we'll talk about that more later, and then the ability to pay.
So we've talked a little bit about the credit score, but not what the minimum credit score is. Do we know what that is?
Minimum credit score is 600.
Okay.
600. All right, next slide. So here we go. So 1 year of steady employment or other proof of income, 2 years of steady employment, 2 years of steady income if you are self-employed. Your debt to income ratio below 43%. So your debt to income ratio, most loans look for a 31, 43, they vary depending on the type of loan. So with us, we ask for a 30, 43. 30% of your gross monthly income. The 43 is your income combined with your debt. So now we ask for minimal accounts in a negative standing. A lot of people just go ahead and pay stuff off. A lot of times they don't know that they even had something. No liens or judgments, all must be cleared prior to application. Medical collections or student loans have to have payment plans, FICO score of 600 or better, evidence of a banking institution, and that could be brick and mortar, it could be internet, like Chime or something like that. We found out must be a first-time homeowner is not a thing.
Oh, it is, it's not a thing.
Not a thing.
Ooh.
So, but if you have owned a home, it can't be in the past 3 years. It must be 3 years since the discharge of a bankruptcy or foreclosure. Next slide. Now, must live in areas we serve. That basically means where we build. A lot of times people ask us, oh, do you build in, Sand Springs, or do you, we build where we have land. That's what we do. So applicants and co-applicants are legal permanent citizens residents or citizens of the United States. Banking documents and rental agreements must show 6 months of responsible rent payments, and we will perform a complete client investigation report, including a criminal background check. And you will hear that again next slide. There it is again. So we try to make that very clear, because we don't want our potential homeowners to live in an area where they don't feel safe. And so we will not put you in an area with neighbors who have maybe criminal backgrounds that you don't know about, so we won't do that. And we are using the criminal background checks to look for specific convictions such as fraud and violent or sexual offenses, because we have had some of that with violent offenses, and we don't want that. Felony convictions must be 7 years from the date of conviction. Do not let a minor offense stop you from applying. We recognize that a person's past is not indicative of who they are. And we also have a scoring sheet that we use, like how far out was the offense. If the offense was so many years out, then, points. And so we do have a way to measure, and if a person is under the point system that's set by Habitat for Humanity International, then they are cleared. Adverse decisions based on the results of the complete client investigation report will be discussed with the applicant, and results of the inquiries are available by request. Next slide. So willingness to partner, what we want from you. Demonstrate responsibility, organization, and communication skills throughout the application process. Anyone who's ever bought a home knows that they ask you for everything, and they will ask you for it more than one time. So we ask that everybody be very patient with us and with your banker. Ability to contribute at least 30 hours of sweat equity at one of the Restore locations. Attend homeowner education, one-on-one housing counseling, and other necessary workshops. And then willingness to share your Habitat story with our donors, community partners, and followers. Next slide. Sweat equity, again, 30 hours at the Restores. Only those living in the home can contribute to the 30 hours. And all sweat equity must be completed before you move in. Next slide. So the classes, home buyer class, 2 parts, 8 hours combined for the 2 parts. Money management is also 2 parts. Good neighbor, I teach good neighbor. I used to be a neighborhood liaison for the city of Tulsa. And so they cleared me to go ahead and teach it, teach the class. And they have a wonderful book, and if you haven't seen it, there's actually a booklet, and I think it's within the planning department's web page. But it's a wonderful booklet that walks you through block parties, how to get a sign for your neighborhood.
Is it the block party in a box kit, or the neighborhood in a box kit, or something
It's
like
called
that?
the Neighborhood Toolkit.
Okay,
It's
yes,
what it's called.
yes,
That's the name of the
Yeah.
book, Neighborhood Toolkit.
Yeah.
But it walks you through just different things, to do within the city, who to call, when to call, all of that. It's really a great book that I hand it out at each, in my classes to each person who's there. Then lawn care class, we have master gardeners who volunteer to do our landscaping. And what they have done now is at closing, every homeowner will get a packet that shows what plants are planted in their yards and how to care for them. So they are a wonderful resource for us. And then disaster preparedness is taught by the American Red Cross. And that's a big thing for Habitat, is disaster preparedness. Next slide. So the application process, attend an orientation, you do your application, credit report and criminal background check forms, you complete those. Once everything is okay, your criminal background check comes back okay, your credit is great, you're accepted into the program. Once you're accepted into the program, you begin your education, your one-on-one counseling and all of that. We do ask for your 1% at the time of the contract. Once you sign that contract, we give you 6 homes to look at. Then if those 6 don't work, if we have 6 more, we'll give you 6 more until we find something that fits. And then if it doesn't fit, we do reserve the right to adverse a person out of the program. Because if we can't find anything to satisfy you, we just can't, Again, then they do home selection, the file is sent to the bank. If all goes well with underwriting, you close on your mortgage and you move in. And that's it. And I think we have one more slide. And so we ask all of our potential homeowners to help us, to help them. And that's basically check your email, your spam, your postal mail, your voicemail. Set up voicemail if you don't already have it, and clear out your voicemail box if it is full, because you never know who's gonna call and when they're gonna call. All right, and I believe that's it.